Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. You may recognize this look because it's the look I had in my favourites video. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it now. But today we are going to do a battle of the foundation. A battle of the stick foundations. I feel like there's so many stick foundations that are on the market that everybody loves, and I feel like whenever I try them I just cannot get to grips with them. So I happen to have the 3 most popular stick foundations on YouTube which people normally compare to each other, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to test each of these foundations out for a period of a day each. So over 3 days I'll be trying out 3 stick foundations and I'll be comparing everything from the formula, the finish, the lasting power, everything for you guys so that you know which one is best, because I don't really know which one is best, so I want to know. So if you don't know which 3 stick foundations I'm talking about, I'm about to tell you. So the first one that we are testing out is the Anastasia Beverly Hills stick foundation. I'm in the shade Chestnut. I don't know why that's important, but I wanted to tell you guys. This is a foundation that's very hit or miss. To be honest, I've worn it about 2 or 3 times and I don't have an opinion on it, so I'm like, let's just do this, let's just get this whole thing out of the way and find out if this is a good product or not. The next stick foundations we are going to review are the Makeup Forever Ultra HD sticks. Now a lot of people love these sticks. They swear that they're full coverage, they swear that it has the best finish. For me, it looks a little oily, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really love it, and I don't like the fact that I have to mix 2 shades. So again, I want to review these for a whole entire day to see if they are truly worth the wait. Now bear in mind, with a lot of these foundations I have worn, I just don't know how I feel about them, so I want to find out of these 3 which one is the best, so I can kind of say adios to the other 2 and just stick with the one that I really love. And then the last one in the battle of the stick foundations is the Hourglass Vanish foundation stick. Now this one is the one that I'm wearing today. It's the one that we are going to test out on this Monday. It's the 4th of September, it's Beyonce's birthday. Don't know why that's relevant, but I thought I'd put it out there. It's a national holiday, guys, come on, don't be rude. This is what I'm actually wearing today. Out of all 3, this is the one that I actually like the most. Without ruining it for you guys, this is the one that I'm kind of like, I can do with it. It's what I've got on today. I think so far it probably looks a little bit on the camera. In the flesh, there are some things going on. Before we do start the video, number 1, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please do that now and click the notification bell so that you can get a notification every time I post a video. And number 2, before watching all the way to the end, do not cheat, do not pass go and take £200 because a bitch will know. Let me know before you even watch the video which foundation out of the 3 you think I would like the best by the time that this 3-day review session is over. So guys, I've been wearing this foundation for about 3 hours. It is now 4:27. I've been wearing this foundation from about 1:30. Just before I go to bed and take everything off, I will show you guys what it looks like and I'll give you my final verdict on the Hourglass Vanish foundation. So keep watching to see this battle of the stick foundations. So guys, still 4th of September, still Beyonce's birthday, so nothing's changed, I'm not lying to you guys. So I wrote some notes about what I thought just about the application and things like that, and then I will talk about what we can actually see in the face because I'm not loving it. So my observations with this foundation, so I have to say when it's set it's not completely matte, which is something I don't enjoy. Like almost when you set it, it leaves like brush strokes in your foundation, which I don't really like, and I found that setting it, like it just didn't look great to me. Like I can set like a Estee Lauder or a Kat Von D or something like my Milani foundation, my Wet n Wild foundation. I can set it and it looks super matte and ready to take on the day, but for me with this it just didn't look the way that I like my foundations to look when I set them. I have to say that concealer doesn't look as flawless blended on top, it just kind of looks like it's there. I think because my makeup's a bit more satin, it definitely doesn't look horrendous, but it definitely does look like it's there. And then there's creases in the smile lines, and then throughout the day I noticed that I did feel quite oily, to be honest. Yeah, so those were kind of my observances throughout the day, and as I've worn it throughout the day it's definitely got worse. I didn't check in purely because I have this whole setup and I was editing my other videos, so it just was a bit inconvenient for me to stop editing that video to kind of go into this one, but you guys can see what's going on here. So the first thing that I have to say, smile lines. This is one thing that I noticed. The first time I wore this to this time I've worn it 3 or 4 or 5 times, something like that. The smile lines are just so prominent, and considering that I bake and kind of set my laugh lines and kind of clean up my contour with a lot of powder, I don't expect my foundation to look like this, so I'm not really happy about that. My skin looks very oily, not gonna lie. It's oily right here. I'm sure if I got a tissue and we kind of just pressed it in, we would see that it's oily. It looks quite greasy on the forehead in my opinion. On the chin, It's quite oily, and I don't know if you guys can see it's actually separating. It's separating a lot on the nose as well, so for me that is not amazing. There's a lot of full coverage foundations that I own that I can wear for 8, 9, 10 hours and it will not look this bad. So for me, this is a bit disappointing that this foundation is as expensive as it is and it looks like this. Another observance is not as full coverage because this little bit of hyperpigmentation here, any other time I've like done my makeup and this spot has been present, I've been able to cover it. I actually did cover this with more makeup after I filmed the first video to kind of see if it would disappear, and the makeup has kind of disappeared there, so don't know what else to say. I'm not loving it. Let me check it for transferring. It's not transferring too bad, but it definitely is transferring. There's like a little tiniest bit on my hand, but like with my full coverage foundations, I definitely don't get transferring. And as you can see, I've just done that and it's left that weird patch on my chin. I'm finding that any little spots that I have kind of in this area are definitely a lot more prominent, which again is something I only have a problem with when I'm wearing foundations that are this weird like demi matte consistency. Anytime I wear like a matte full coverage foundation, you cannot see any of these little tiny pimples that I have just here. Little tiny pimples that I have on my forehead are kind of a bit more prominent. I don't know, I'm really praying that this is the worst of all three, because otherwise I'm going to be really pissed off that I spent so much money on these foundations. But fingers crossed, we still got 2 more days to go, and then obviously on the last day we're going to do the final showdown, the final evaluation. I'm going to give this a 2.5 out of 5, I can't even lie. This is not an amazing foundation for me, and from the very first day that I put it on, I did not like it. My skin is normal, so for me to get as oily as I am getting with this, I'm not happy. Tomorrow we'll be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation, so I'm super excited to do that. So we'll jump to tomorrow in 3, 2. So guys, I went to work and everything, and you know, I didn't really check in. I couldn't really like set up the camera and everything to kind of give you guys a review on this foundation, but I've been wearing it for almost 12 hours. I did my makeup at 11:20. Oh yes, 12 hours. Right now it's 10 past 12. I don't know if I'm loving it more than the Hourglass, but I do like it. I mean, it doesn't look as bad as the Hourglass one to me, but I will try and zoom in and let you guys get the exact like picture of what I'm talking about when I'm talking about it. So these are my notes in regards to this foundation. In terms of application, I thought that it was a bit more matte. The actual texture of the foundation stick was a bit more waxy, which I like, because the Hourglass one just feels like it just slides on, which I don't really like. It was buildable because I put on a few layers and then I blended it out, and then I realised I needed a bit more coverage in like a few places, and it kind of just blended out. It wasn't like crazy or anything. When I set with powder, to me it did look a lot better than the Hourglass one. Personally, I just felt like that looked really like dewy and like a really weird textured finish, and I just don't enjoy that. And every time I try to set it, I just don't like the way that it looks. It did feel a lot more weightless. It definitely felt, you know, at the point of application, it definitely felt a lot more weightless, and I couldn't really feel like I had a full face of foundation on me. Wearing it throughout the day though, there has been some transferring as I've kind of touched my face and things like that. There's a little bit on my finger. You guys would definitely not be able to see that, but it's the tiniest bit. It's definitely transferring less than the Hourglass one, because the Hourglass one, it felt like oil that I was just literally getting off, but there's literally nothing on my fingers, which is quite good. It's quite oily on my chin. It's quite oily in my T-zone, but for me it's giving me a bit more of a natural glow. Like I said, on my chin I'm not really liking this, but like on my forehead and stuff, it gives me a bit more of a natural glow because I did like strobe and everything there, so I like that. It's creasing around my mouth. It's not as bad as the Hourglass foundation, but it's still not amazing. I checked in about 9 hours after I worn it. That was at about 7, it was about 8 o'clock, and I checked in and it did look quite matte. I did have to powder just because I was at work and I didn't want to look crazy on the shop floor, but ever since then, it has been 4 hours since then, and I've left it so you guys can see the natural oils that have come through. I would say when I put the concealer on, it did look a little bit dry, and to me the concealer is definitely still looking a bit dry, if you guys can see, especially like here, which is really weird because oh my god, I hate this like smooth filter that it's done. I'm so sorry guys. It's looking a little bit dry here, but at the same time a little bit oily, which I don't really get. I'm liking this foundation. I think it definitely looks better than the Hourglass one, but I'm still not enjoying how oily I look because I use a variety of matte foundations that do not make me this oily, and I don't really have oily skin. I have kind of escaped the curse of the oily skin a long time ago, so very confused. I just don't know if stick foundations are for me, but then again we do have one day left, so fingers crossed the Makeup Forever stick foundations will be better, but I highly doubt it, I'm not gonna lie. Out of 5, I'm going to give this foundation a 3. For me, if I had to go out right now, I'd literally powder up a little bit, add a little more highlights and blush, and I'd be ready to go. Whereas I feel like with the Hourglass one, I'd have to do a bit more of a touch-up. I'd have to do a bit more work to fix it up, at least. That's what I think. But out of 5, we're giving this a 3. So tomorrow, we have the Makeup Forever day, so let's just pray that it's much better. So it's day 3 of our foundation showdown. Today we have on the Makeup Forever the sticks, yeah, them things there. So far I really like the way that it looks. This is the most like matte looking at all the foundations. The problem I've had with these foundations, they just look so wet. It looks so like glossy and sticky, so I've just not loved them. But I've set this stick foundation with my airspan powder, which never steers me wrong, so here's hoping that will be good. It's actually 4 o'clock. I believe I've had this makeup on for about 3 hours now. Yeah, I've had this makeup for about 2-3 hours on now. I'm actually heading out to meet some friends, and I'll be back home in about 5 hours. So we'll have had foundation on hopefully for about 8 hours, so we can truly review what it looks like. So I will see you guys then. Okay guys, so it's currently 9:07. I think I applied it at 1. I don't know if I said something else, but I think I applied it at 1. So I've been wearing this foundation for about 8 hours now. Out of all the 3 foundations, I think potentially this one's my favourite. I'm really sorry that I have my cap on. Basically, I kind of ruined my makeup. I had to re-slip my hair or whatever, so it got ruined, and I didn't want to be late for my friends, so just chucked the cap on and just ran out the door. But I guess you guys don't really see the forehead. I'll try and like lift my head up and stuff so that you guys can see it. But I found that this was really creamy. Like as I was applying it, I found that this was the most like wet, you know, cream like formula. The foundation was a bit patchy on the nose when setting, but overall now that I've like set with powder, it's not bad at all. There's hardly any patchiness on this, which I think is quite nice. It looks the nicest when set. I think of the other 2, the Hourglass, I hated it when I set it. It just didn't look good at all. And then the ABH foundation, it looked matte, but it wasn't amazing. This one, to be honest, looks the most matte when I set it. It looks the nicest. The foundation that I think personally looks the nicest when it's set. An hour after filming, I made a note and I looked at it. It was still very matte. That was when I was on my way out. I checked it up. I did set it with the airspan powder, which is actually quite mattifying, which I'm like, is that a bit of a cheat? Because I know that that's a good powder and it mattifies like anything. But I'm like, do you know what? I wanted to change it up, but like that's the makeup that I use, so I need to know if it works with the makeup that I have. So that's why I decided to use that. There's hardly really any oiliness. Out of all 3 foundations, this has made me the least oily. Like there's a tiny glow on my chin. And on my nose it's not as bad. On my nose it actually stayed the most matte out of all 3 foundations. There's small creases in my smile lines, but not crazy. I think out of all foundations, the Hourglass definitely emphasised my smile lines a lot more. The makeup is not faded as well. You can still see my blush, you can still see my highlight, my eyeshadow, that kind of thing. The only thing that's faded is this because I've been out, you know, to dinner with friends. But out of 5, I would give this foundation a 4.5. I cannot lie. The one thing I just don't like is how creamy the stick is. I felt like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to cake this in powder. And to be honest, I didn't only put a little bit on, but I just think the foundation application is a bit slippy and slidey, which I don't really love. But apart from that, I don't really have much complaints at all. I'm not gonna lie. I really do enjoy this foundation, and I cannot believe that I'm saying that. For me, this was the best out of all 3. I just think this is such a revelation to me. I'm gonna read some of your predictions if you guys have put loads of predictions down below to see what you guys thought, but I never really thought I would like this one. This is the first stick foundation that I bought out of all 3, and when I put it on I just wasn't majorly impressed, but maybe I've just kind of figured out, you know, the knack to work it. So let's see how we rated it. So number 1, we have the Makeup Forever foundation. That's at 4.5 out of 5 I gave it. Then we have the ABH, which is a 3 out of 5, and then we have the Hourglass, which is a 2.5 out of 5, which I don't think is bad at all. I can't believe that I like the Hourglass one the least. I can't even believe that I like the Anastasia one at all, because first time I used that I was like, no matter what, this does look nice and I do really like it, but I'm just not a fan of stick foundations. I don't know, maybe I'll just end up just giving them all to somebody else. I know my sister's quite close to my shade. I probably have a few friends that are quite close to my shade in foundations and stuff. I like this, but I know that a lot of my high coverage foundations do perform a lot better with this. I know I always go on about the Estee Lauder foundation, but because it's so incredible, like, I do like this, but I'm not obsessed with it. Like, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. I just need that little 0.5 to just so I can really love this. But I am really enjoying this, and I hope that you guys can see it. So I keep moving my head and everything so you guys can see it, but just believe me when I say that this one out of all three of them looks the best. Maybe let me zoom in before I actually end this video so that you guys can see it. I hope that it's focused. I hope that it's not like going off. There we go. That's what it looks like. So we're going to end this video for now, guys. Let me know if you have tried all three of these foundations or even just one, and which one was your favourite, because I'm so intrigued. I think of all three, I'll probably continue to give this a shot. I will continue to give them all a shot, but I think of this one, I'll probably wear this the most frequently because I'm loving the way that it looks. Even when I touch it, there's like zero transferring. Like, I think it's safe to say that the Makeup Forever foundation for me is the best out of all three of the most popular stick foundations on YouTube. Yeah, it's my final conclusion. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope that you've enjoyed watching me trial foundations over these 3 days. It has been interesting because I've literally had to like type stuff on my phone, like, so I don't forget anything about the foundations. But you know, it's been fun and it's been great testing different formulas and like checking out stuff. So thank you again, guys, for watching. If you've liked what you've seen, if you've made it this far, please subscribe to my channel, like this video if you like it, comment down below, and I shall see you in the next one. Again, let's keep the conversation going downstairs in the comment box below. Downstairs, connect with me on social media, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Battle of the stick foundations.